Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is game 2 between our red Protoss player at the 2 o'clock position of Metalopolis, Hoso San. San, of course, being his name. Hoso is the clan, and he is one of the top Protoss players in Korea. Protoss versus Zerg is seemingly one of his stronger matchups, at least from what I've watched of him at the GSL and in this series so far. So, San, once again, 2 o'clock position, red Protoss player. Then down to the south, we have Liquid.Ret. Liquid.Ret, definitely a fan favorite. He's a European player, but he did spend some time in Korea training and competing in the GSLs, and is known to be just about as macro-oriented as you can be as a Zerg player. Of course, you know, everyone knows, generally speaking, the Zerg race is very macro-intensive, but I mean, Ret really takes it to a next level with just crazy drone production. Yeah, especially as we reach, 10, 15 minute mark, sort of that mid-game portion, he just goes drone crazy. So we'll see what he has in store for us here in Game 2. Game 1 was very exciting on Xel'Naga Caverns. I really enjoyed that matchup. And, I mean, Liquid.Ret has to figure something out here, or he's going to be knocked out of the Stars War tournament. I'm not super familiar with the Stars War tournament brackets, if there's like a lower bracket that Ret may be able to battle back with, but with or without those fancy bracket setups, both of these players are going to really want this win. No one is going to want to lose a best of 3 when there's, these high stakes. And San actually puts a forge on the low ground. We are going to have a forge fast expand here on Metalopolis. This forge is going to just be the first piece of a wall off, as we see Protoss players doing this quite a bit. Once you have the Nexus in position, you can complete the wall off with, a gateway and have some cannons out of reach. But now actually that roaches have longer range, and of course that was a patch that went down quite a few months ago now, but roaches now having longer range makes this type of opening a little bit less effective. It's a little easier for roaches to get shots off on the cannon. So we'll have to see if that sort of plays into Ret's style here. Doesn't surprise me that he's getting a very fast hatchery. It was not hatchery first, but regardless, a very fast expansion for our Zerg player. Only now getting his extractor up. And 2 Zerglings out already. 2 more Zerglings on the way. And his first queen just about to pop out right now as well. I do want to also point out that many tournaments these days actually prevent players from spawning in these locations. As you can see here on Metalopolis, we're at the 2 o'clock position and like the 6 o'clock position, so they are very close by foot. Lots of tournaments have this map set up so that these very spawn locations are disabled, but apparently not at the Stars War tournament. As I mentioned before, we have, of course, this pylon able to power everything, and this gateway is going to be what completes the wall off here. So we'll see if these 2 photon cannons are enough to defend here, at least in the early game. And actually there is a little gap here apparently. I just saw the probe waltz right through this little space here. Unless that was some crazy trick that I've never heard of or seen before. I guess this isn't actually a Zergling type wall off. We'll just have to wait and see though. So now 2 cannons complete and 3 Zerglings, and they're meeting up with a 4th Zergling now. Of course, Liquid.Ret knows exactly what's going on. Liquid.Ret is getting his lair tech. He still only has 1 gas. He has 2 queens though, and lair tech about halfway complete. So, oh, we got a Stargate on the way as well. Very interesting. Very unique opener here for San, for Hoso San. Just going to be mining off of 2 gas for the time being, funding 1 Stargate. No Warp Gate research or anything like that. Just, San still putting up more static defenses. Another cannon here. So I'm actually wondering, Red is going to have to find a really good timing to attack here. He basically has 2 choices. He can attack and try to do some really severe damage to the Protoss player, the Protoss player's tech, or harassment, take out a lot of probes, or Ret can opt to start expanding, on the other side of the map. Of course, Ret is not going to have any interest in expanding to this like 4 o'clock or the gold base up here. That would be very foolish, expanding towards your Protoss opponent. 2 more gases now complete, so 4 gas and Hydra is popping, Roach is popping. So this is what I was sort of alluding to a moment ago. It looks like Red is going to go for a strong push in the next, 4 or 5 minutes or so, maybe even less. 2 more gas on the way, and I want to keep an eye out for the Phoenix. The Phoenix is just going Overlord hunting right now. It looks like the Phoenix is going to get his first kill right now, and still no Warp Gate research. This is actually very late Warp Gate research to be, only about halfway done now. Son is chrono boosting that out. He's getting out some sentries as well. Would have been nice if he had those sentries out just a little bit sooner to build up more energy. Some scouting going on. He sees the Hydralisks, and this is a great response. I'm actually wondering, let's take a look at Rhett's vision. Rhett is very well aware of the Stargate. I mean, of course, he just saw the Phoenix as well, but he's known about the Stargate for some time, so that could have also possibly contributed to his decision to get Hydras. But going up against a Forge Fast Expand with this kind of wall-off, with this open type of map, Hydras are a very good choice as well. So let's keep these Hydras highlighted and keep an eye out for Micro. Of course, Hydra is just deathly slow on creep. They are going to focus down one cannon. One cannon gets taken out. A Hydra gets taken out as well. And probes coming off the line just for a second there, but apparently Son, a little indecisive, moves the probes off and then back on to the minerals. Lots more Hydras reinforcing. No roaches, so we build that roach horn kind of for nothing, but it may not actually make a difference as these Hydras are just doing so much damage. I believe they have maybe the highest DPS in the game. They just shoot so quickly, and Force Field's not as effective against Hydras either, just because of their long 6 range, especially with that range upgrade, and that's it. Son calls GG. I mean, the short rush distance by foot, combined with some pretty decent creep spread and just a very strong timing with these Hydras completely just shuts down this natural expansion. So it's 1-1, and we're going to jump into the rubber match, as they call it, Game 3. Let's see who's going to take this down.